It's time to rock and roll in the Super Shifter final here at Wackersdorf for the third round of the 2018 IAME X30 Euro Series. And this one's going to be an incredible battle. Once again, as we see Thierry Del Rey and Casper Corjus on the front row of the grid from Carlos Leon and Nico Robasa, with Michel Biviga, Kevin Ludi, Stendorian Pedemaghi and Philip Siva. So Pedemaghi, the championship leader, on the back foot after his first retirement of the 2018 season in the pre-final. Now he's got to try and get his mojo back for 19 laps of this 1,190 meter Wackersdorf circuit. Air temperature 24 degrees Celsius at the moment. Track temperature is probably about 3 or 4 more degrees more than that in the baking hot German sunshine. But Thierry Del Rey and Casper Corjus now find themselves in the box seat for the top step of the podium here at Wackersdorf. But in Super Shifters, as Stendorian Pedemaghi put it just a few moments ago, anything can happen. So let's see how this is going to work out for the drivers as they go around the circuit in their formation laps. 2 tours around the circuit to build up the tyre temperatures and brakes, and then they will bring the karts onto the start line, ready for the standing start. One of the most spectacular sights in the European X30 paddock. It's the standing start in Super Shifter. These karts accelerate from 0 to 60 in the similar sort of time it takes a Bugatti Veyron to do so. And when you consider that these guys are a couple of millimeters off the ground in a machine that weighs the equivalent of 3 bags of sugar compared to a Bugatti Veyron, that is lightning. And they do say in gearbox karting, it's Formula One without the budget. This is an absolutely amazing category of racing, and gearbox karting, there is nothing quite like that thrill-seeking blast down to the first corner. And as so many drivers have told me this weekend, the start is genuinely one of the most critical things of this class. They've got to get it absolutely spot on if they want to go forwards. Thierry Del Rey and Casper Corjus on the front row of the starting grid from Carlos Leon of Spain and Nico Robasa of Switzerland. Then it is going to be the 2 Spirit Racing teammates Michel Biviga and Kevin Ludi. The championship leader from Estonia, Stendorian Pedemaghi, is 7th on the grid alongside the 4th of the Spirit Racing drivers, Philip Siva. So let's see how these guys go off the starting line. They will come back onto the grid. The engine revs will rise, and it will be time to blast off into the distance. Thierry Del Rey in the Mach 1 kart, getting himself neatly into position. Del Rey, Corjus, Leon, Robasa, Biviga, Ludi, Pedemaghi and Siva. It's time to go racing at Wackersdorf. Get ready and hang on to something. That start is going to be magnificent. The lights will come on when they're out. We're racing for the last time in Super Shifter. Now, what a start from Carlos Leon initially, but it's Corjus who blasts away into the lead. Robasa in a second place. Corjus takes the lead. Robasa second. Leon is trying to hang on as Stendorian Pedemaghi is coming round the outside after a fantastic getaway. He's now into 4th position. So Pedemaghi blasts forward into P4 past Leon, and the 3 Spirit Racing karts at the back are now battling away with each other for 6th position. But Corjus has taken an early doors lead from Robasa, Del Rey, Pedemaghi and Leon. Just looking at the order of the Spirit Racing drivers behind, it's Biviga in front of Ludi and Siva. Ludi's going to try and get up the inside of Siva pretty quickly, but Biviga holds him at bay. But now Pedemaghi's going to try and get on terms with his main championship rival, Thierry Del Rey, out the inside. And they're going to be side by side down to the final hairpin. Pedemaghi trying to get in there and has not been able to do so. Now Carlos Leon's trying to get involved. Great racing as Corjus and Robasa are already starting to jog away from the rest of the field. What a scrap this is for 3rd position. Easily the best race start of the championship this year. And now Pedemaghi has got to try and shake off Carlos Leon. He's coming more towards him. Kevin Ludi has got himself now into 6th position, I do believe, the 611. So he is getting into that position nicely now. Well, what an absolutely spectacular battle this is proving to be. They come up towards the final couple of corners in the lap. And Stendorian Pedemaghi still trying to gain ground on Thierry Del Rey, but 4th position will still be reasonable points. Thierry Del Rey, his main rival, is currently 3rd, behind the fast-starting Casper Corjus and Nico Robasa in 2nd. 5th place for Carlos Leon as he charges after the championship leader, Stendorian Pedemaghi. Then it is Biviga, Ludi and Philip Siva. So Ludi's still trying to get on terms with his teammate Michel Biviga, but it hasn't quite worked out yet. As they come through down to the hairpin, into turn 4, up the hill into turn 5. All still going well for Casper Courgeus, who finally seems to be having some good luck this weekend. And he's in there, moving his way further forward, out in front. It looks like there is going to be an Estonian flag at the top of the podium after all, but it's not going to be Stendonian Pidemargi if it stays like this. It's going to be Casper Courgeus. Nico Rohrwasser in second. Third is Del Rey still. Pidemargi and Leon have now dropped the 3 Spirit Racing drivers, but Kevin Luddy has got himself now into 6th position. So he is leaving Biffiger and Siva to battle amongst each other. Siva's got through as well, so Biffiger down to 8th. So Courgeus in the lead of the race and still stretching away from second place man Nico Rohrwasser. Del Rey in in 3rd position. Then it is Pidemargi and Carlos Leon, 4th and 5th as they come through one more time. Superb battling between these guys at the moment as they continue their charge forward. But we are not done yet. In fact, if anything, we are just getting started. Out in front, Casper Courgeus stretching out a gap. Rohrwasser looks like he's being caught a little by Thierry Del Rey, but this man, Stendonian Pidemargi, is under some pressure from Carlos Leon as they go onto the back straight once again. Courgeus has a lead of about 1.5 seconds, at least he did have at the end of the last lap. What sort of pace is Rohrwasser doing? 47.994. Fastest lap of the race, though, comes from Thierry Del Rey, the Belgian, as he comes through on a 47.944. So the Belgian, who is currently 2nd in the Drivers' Championship, is 3rd in the race and is trying to get away from his main rival in the championship. Kevin Luddy, though, goes even faster on a 47.856 as he is now in 6th position, trying to close up on Carlos Leon in the battle for 5th position. It's actually now, of course, the battle for 4th position because Leon is trying to go for Pidemargi. Pidemargi's holding him at bay and Kevin Luddy's joined the party. This is going to be fever pitch. Absolutely epic racing between these 3. Pidemargi, Leon and Luddy for the top 6. And there goes Luddy. Dives up the inside of Carlos Leon. Absolutely terrific move from Kevin Luddy. Leon's going to try and get straight back up the inside. But Kevin Luddy caught him napping there and is now up into 5th position. Good work from Luddy. So into P5. Meanwhile, the battle for 2nd place is tightening up because Rohrwasser is being caught by Thierry Del Rey. And the Belgian, 32 years of age from Hiers, is now starting to get into the battle for 2nd position again. Courgeus's lead was 1.5. It's now 1.2. But as they keep saying, it's a 19-lap race. It's a long race here in very intense heat. We've got 13.5 laps to go. And tyres are definitely going to be a problem to look after in this intense heat. So we could see several drivers falling away in terms of their overall pace as they try desperately to preserve their tyre life. And I think Courgeus, trying to build a gap, has actually compromised himself a little bit. Rohrwasser is gaining ground with assistance from Thierry Del Rey. So Courgeus has definitely not got this race won yet. There's a long way to go, 13 laps left. And Courgeus has only got 1 second now on Rohrwasser. It was 1.5 seconds. But they do say in the Super Shifter category that you've got to look after your tyres above everything else. And in this heat, there have been so many drivers who have got it wrong, including this man, Stendonian Pidemargi, who is in front of Kevin Luddy. Luddy is trying to chase him down, and he's having a look for the move of the inside line. Kevin Luddy's getting alongside and not quite through. But Stendonian Pidemargi versus Kevin Luddy is now game on for 4th place. And Carlos Leon's not far away either for 6th position. So this is going to be a great battle, and Luddy this time dives to the final hairpin and does get through past Stendonian Pidemargi. Now that's great news for Del Rey, not so great for Pidemargi, but Kevin Luddy through into 4th position. It's great news for Del Rey because after winning his pre-final, he's now going to gain even more points on Stendonian Pidemargi as the Estonian drops to 5th and the Belgian remains in 3rd. So here is that battle, Kevin Luddy into 4th position, Pidemargi to 5th and Carlos Leon to 6th. Stay patient. Keep looking after the tyres. Don't push the cart too hard. This is going to be a long game here at Wackersdorf. And for some drivers, it's going to be a short-term gain, long-term loss. But in terms of the battle up front at the moment, Courgeus still holds the lead. And the gap is steady at 1.1. Now, Courgeus will be trying his best to control the pace, not losing too much time over the course of the race itself. And the gap has come down by 0.2 of a second on that last lap. It's now just under 1 second between Courgeus and Rohrwasser. So the Estonian is definitely being caught here. Rohrwasser and Del Rey are working together to close up on the race leader. Rohrwasser in 2nd, Del Rey in 3rd. We're on lap 9 of 19, so there are 11 laps to go. This is going to be so tough. So tense. But this could take a long time to develop as Rohrwasser and Del Rey are still going after Korjus. The young Estonian still working very hard at the lead of this race and trying his best to control those tyres. But it's so hard when you're in the lead of the race and you've got a gap. You just want to keep extending the gap, but that compromises your tyre life. So he's got to be very calculated about this and take his time and take his chances where he needs to. So there they are on the far side of the circuit. Korjus, Rohrwasser and Del Rey. So Thierry Del Rey trying to make his move on Rohrwasser, but Rohrwasser is going with him to move further closer. The gap comes down again from the lead of the race, 0.7 of a second, and Kevin Luddy is catching these guys as well. Stendonian Pidemargi, the championship leader, only in 5th position this time, with Carlos Leon still right underneath him. Then it is Philip Siever and Michiel Biviger, who really seems to be struggling with tyres at this point in the race. We're on the halfway lap of the 19-lap encounter. 9 done, 10 to go. Or as we come across the line, it'll be 10 down and 9 to go. Here is Korjus over the line. Rohrwasser and Thierry Del Rey in 3rd position. So this is going to be a tough one for Casper Korjus to hang on to as he continues to control the pace of this race. The 6:16 for the Ike's Racing team, hanging on in there in the lead of this race. 2nd position for Nico Rohrwasser. 3rd place for Thierry Del Rey. Then 4th is Kevin Luddy of Switzerland. 5th is Stendonian Pidemargi, but for how much longer? Because Carlos Leon is right underneath him. Carlos Leon's trying to make a move to come through as Thierry Del Rey is trying to do the same thing on Nico Rohrwasser. The gap is still stationary at 0.7 of a second between Korjus and Rohrwasser. But Thierry Del Rey is now trying to get on with this, and Leon is through into 5th. Carlos Leon has got through into 5th position past Stendonian Pidemargi. So Pidemargi is down to 6th position here at Wackersdorf. Well, this is a very dramatic turn of events for Stendonian Pidemargi. Thierry Del Rey goes into 2nd position. Thierry Del Rey goes into 2nd place, takes on Nico Rohrwasser into turn 1 and gets the move. So now they're chasing down Casper Korjus in unison, but this is going to be a very tight battle and they know it. Thierry Del Rey, the gap between him and the race leader is currently 0.861 as they came across the line that last time by. But now it's time to reel in the Estonian, and Thierry Del Rey seems to be looking after his tyres beautifully in these very hot conditions. They come onto the back straight once again, up and over the crest, as the leaders come through once more. Del Rey in position, but Rohrwasser now seems to be losing ground to his teammate Kevin Luddy in their battle for 3rd place. So Kevin Luddy is gaining ground on Nico Rohrwasser. He's definitely fighting back and getting very hungry about things, but Stendonian Pidemargi is still there in 6th place. And to be fair to him, he's actually struggling to shake off the attentions of Philip Siever. Siever's going to dive for the inside and gets the place on Pidemargi. So that is the move done there as he makes his way through. So Stendonian Pidemargi's weekend has just crumbled around him. He won all 3 races yesterday, no problem. His mechanical problem with the clutch ending up causing him a hassle in the pre-final, but here in the final, he's just got absolutely no pace. This is a real shock to see Stendonian Pidemargi struggling the way he is in 7th place. But today, it looks like they've just been caught out by the gains every other team has made. Here he comes again. Pidemargi trying to get back on terms with Philip Siever. He does not want to have to lose another position, and he's trying to get back, but he just doesn't seem to have the pace in the kart. Very surprising. We'll look back. There is Siever and there is Pidemargi. There's Thierry Del Rey in 2nd position, closing down the gap to Korjus rapidly now. The gap was 0.8 of a second. I think it's less than that as they come through now. I think it's closer to 0.6 of a second. I wonder if the Estonian might have pushed the tyres a little bit too hard too soon, because I'm sure that that's Del Rey only half a second back now. Rohrwasser, meanwhile, is losing ground to Kevin Luddy, who again has been looking after the tyres absolutely perfectly for the moment. He seems to have the raw pace to keep pushing, and he has the fastest lap of the race as well, a 47.792. But as they come through this time by, Rohrwasser the back end getting out just a little bit there, but still no major move from Kevin Luddy, although it does look like it's coming soon, doesn't it? Here they come once again on the drop down to turn 4. Rohrwasser just hanging on in there to 3rd position. Luddy is right in there for a good go for the position as they come off into the S's. Right, left, Rohrwasser struggling a little bit for grip, and this could be the chance for Kevin Luddy to dive up the inside. Rohrwasser protecting that inside line for the moment, but Kevin Luddy getting very hungry in 4th place as he makes the bid to come through. He's not going to get there yet. Nico Rohrwasser still having a great weekend here at Wackersdorf. After winning the Valencia Winter Cup, it's been a struggle in the first 2 rounds at Salbris in France and Marienborg in Belgium. But now here at Wackersdorf, he is much stronger, but Ludi looks like he's going to be even stronger in the latter phase of this race with just 4 to go. Thierry Del Rey is catching Courjus big style now. 0.4 of a second is the gap. And I think Del Rey is picking his moment just so. He's reading him in, whilst Ludi is on the back of his teammate Nico Rohrwasser. But both of these guys want to be on the podium. There's no team orders at this exact level, so they're going to keep pushing. But these guys need to get on with it because Carlos Leon is catching them. So Leon is right there, having looked after his tyres for the last 2 or 3 laps and just been solid and stable. But because these guys are holding each other up, they are now very even. Look how close Del Rey is now to the race leader, Casper Courjus, as they come off the final turn. This is going to be a great 3-lap battle between Courjus and Thierry Del Rey. They're going to go right to the line. Now, Del Rey took the victory from Courjus in the pre-final, but he was ahead of him anyway. So now he's going to have to try and fight his way through in the battle. There's the battle for 3rd place. Rohrwasser, Ludi and Leon. And it's stalemate between those 3 at the moment, but it looks like it's going to be a great final couple of laps of showdown. Here's Thierry Del Rey. Courjus defending the lead of the race. Here we go. This is the 3-lap battle we're after. And now Courjus is desperately trying to hang on in front of Del Rey. He tightens to that inside line. Del Rey's going to keep in his position. Del Rey goes the long way. Tries to get the switch back. He's up alongside him, and surely this is going to be the move from Thierry Del Rey to the hairpin. Courjus carries the speed round the outside. They're still side by side, but Del Rey is through. Thierry Del Rey has taken the lead. Oh, superb driving from Del Rey, and now the battle's kicking off behind them as Leon has made the dive up the inside of Kevin Ludi. Ludi tried to go on the inside of Rohrwasser, and that left the door wide open for Carlos Leon to get through into 4th place. There he is, but Thierry Del Rey has got a lap and a half to hang on to this lead in front of Casper Courjus. What a great run this is from Thierry Del Rey. Casper Courjus led 16 laps of this final, but for having taken the lead from lap 17, it looks as though Thierry Del Rey is only going to lead 3 of them. But who's going to get that final place on the podium? I thought initially it was going to be Ludi, but Carlos Leon has got through into 4th place, and now he's making the assault onto Rohrwasser. Last lap, here we go. And for Thierry Del Rey, this is going to be a victory he can savour for a long time if he can hang on in front of Casper Courjus, the Estonian. Courjus is still very close to him, but I think he's taken the wind out of his sails with that move into the final turn. So now Leon is trying every trick in the book to try and overhaul Rohrwasser in the bid for 3rd position. That final spot on the podium could go right the way to the checkered flag as well. But Thierry Del Rey in the Mach 1 has been absolutely flawless. He's been patient, he's bided his time, he's looked after the cart, and it's 3 wide for 3rd position behind them. As they get down into the hairpins, this is where things are going to get tough for Kevin Ludi to come around the outside of Carlos Leon, but he's not going to get there. I think it's going to be as it is, but the checkered flag is coming out, and it's a victory for Thierry Del Rey. Oh, yes. Del Rey is absolutely ecstatic. What a moment for Thierry Del Rey, and with his championship rival Stentorian Pinemaghi down in 7th, Thierry Del Rey now takes the lead of the Drivers' Championship. That's what it means to him. The Belgian is absolutely on top of the world right now here at Wackersdorf. This championship was being dominated by Stentorian Pinemaghi, but one bad weekend for the Estonian and a victorious one for Del Rey puts the Belgian into pole position to win this championship at Castelletto. Del Rey wins the race then from Casper Courjus. Nico Rohrwasser is going to finish up in 3rd from Carlos Leon in 4th place. Kevin Ludi and Philip Seaver at 5th and 6th. Stentorian Pinemaghi struggling to come home 7th. And Michel Biviger rounds out the field. What a dramatic turn of events here at Wackersdorf. The weekend was always going Pinemaghi's way, but come Sunday, somebody got it absolutely spot on in the Mach 1 racing team. His name, Thierry Del Rey. He's done an absolutely amazing job. And now as we go to Castelletto in 4 weeks' time, this is the longest slowdown lap I have seen in the 2018 season. Del Rey is really savouring this moment. He has got himself an amazing victory in the final, and look at what it means to him as he comes down the straight. He's absolutely jubilant. He is going to be an incredibly happy man on the podium. It means so much as he passes the photographers at the first part of the